Well, what's up?
Improvising.
This is Russ and Vince, Courtside Podcast here. I got my boy Vince right here. Just go ahead and introduce yourself, Vince.
Yeah, so my name is Vince. Born and raised in Portland, Oregon. Live out here in Las Vegas. Been a Laker fan since I was like 5 years old. How I became a Laker fan, being and living in Oregon, I can't tell you. I think it was just destiny. My dad gave me a Kobe Bryant jersey, and I'm a very loyal guy. So once you're a Laker fan, you stay a Laker fan. So that's
Yes,
me.
sir. I know you for real with it though. You be showing up to the games and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
My name is Russ. I've been a Lakers fan since LeBron came to the Lakers in like 2018. But been a longtime NBA fan since like 2012. Fall in love with the game because of LeBron and other stars. But born and raised I was born in Russia, moved to America, 5 years old, and I'm just gonna go right into it. So today we're gonna be talking about the Lakers and Warriors. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna start with what do you think? Warriors versus Lakers. What do you think about the game? Any concerns?
Well, just looking back at the Warriors' last game, pretty sure it was on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Steph Curry went off for a 50 piece, and man, I can't tell you, it made me happy as a Laker fan seeing the Memphis Grizzlies lose, but at the same time, it kind of made me a little bit nervous because if Steph Curry's got his rhythm back and clearly he is healthy from that injury he just came back from, we could be in some trouble. The only thing that I will say for the most part that makes me not as nervous is the simple fact that we have the defensive players needed to not stop him, but to at least slow him down. I feel like this year's Lakers team is kind of like the team that we wish we had when we had AD in terms of our wing depth. We have so many legit wing players right now that can switch from literally 1 to 5 right now. That literally, when it comes to the motion offense that the Warriors play, that's primarily for Steph Curry. We have the players that can kind of cancel that out. So, in terms of stopping Steph, nobody's going to stop Steph. But I do feel like we have the players that can nullify him for the most part and at least make him really work for each basket.
100%, 100%. I mean, so far the we played the Rockets. A couple days ago. That was the last game, I believe.
Yeah.
And the Rockets had scored 148 points, or like in the 140s, 2 games before that. So we know that they're a young team who can score a lot. And so the Lakers defense kept them to I want to say 98 points that last game. I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy. It just goes to and we got Jalen Green on the bench in the fourth quarter, down to the crunch time. I mean, that's crazy. But right now, I feel like I'm going to be honest with it. I've been pissed all day because they've been talking about the Warriors and how they're on the who do you trust more right now? With who's doing better, and everyone's talking about the Warriors just because they've gone on that just I think it was like 18 out of 21 games that they've won. Obviously, Steph Curry was out for a couple of them with that tailbone contusion, but which
Yeah.
that sounded gnarly. You could hear that right there. It was like right underneath the basket. The microphone picked that up real quick. So the Warriors versus Lakers, the injury report I wanted to bring up. No surprise. Who do you think is going to be on the injury report?
Well, I did take a look at the injury report from what I saw on the Lakers side. Great news. Finally, we have, for the most part, a full roster.
Yeah.
Rui is no longer on the injury report. Gabe, not on the injury report. Luca, not on the injury report. Austin recently tweaked his ankle, if I'm not mistaken. He's not on the injury report. Really, the only people on the Lakers side in terms of the injury report is LeBron, who's day to day, but that's just going to be how it is. LeBron's going to play. We already know this.
Yeah.
And then obviously Maxi Kleber.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of news lately with Maxi Kleber finally getting in the gym, getting some workouts in. Personally, I would love to see what this team looks like with somebody like Maxi Kleber being able to play that 4 and 5 role.
Yep.
Somebody who's a pick and pop type of five that we can play with outside of Jackson. We have Jackson, who's kind of like our Derek Lively type
Yeah.
of mock player, but then we have Maxi Kleber, who's literally a Swiss Army knife when it comes to being able to hit the threes, but also be able to play defensively because he's a solid 6'10", if I'm not mistaken. So it gives us even more length that we already had before,
Mm-hmm.
and then some. In terms of the Warriors, it does look like, unfortunately for us Lakers fans, they're pretty good in terms of their injury report as well.
Yeah.
However, Kaminga is day to day, so chances are, like we
Yeah.
already know as all Lakers fans,
Hey, I didn't mean to cut you
they're
off
playing.
here. I didn't mean to cut you off here, but I just wanted to say hi to everybody in the comments. I've noticed we had like 7 people watching us currently live right now. Just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate you guys for clicking on this. And hope you guys enjoy the content. Go ahead, Vince.
No, absolutely. Thank you, guys. So yeah, as far as the Warrior side, Jonathan Kaminga is on the injury list. He's day to day, but like all Lakers fans know, it doesn't matter if you're day to day. You're playing the Lakers. It just always seems like teams that have injured players, they always end up playing against the Lakers. So
Yeah.
I very much expect Jonathan Kaminga to be playing today. The good news, though, I will say, and I don't mean this good as in the person, but Gary Payton, he is currently listed as out right now. That is huge, just from the standpoint that that is one less defender that the Warriors are going to be able to go up against the Lakers on. Gary Payton, the third or the second, forgive me.
The second, yeah.
The second, he's solid. Like we all know, he's solid. He's literally
left.
the biggest
He
person.
left after I think they won. I don't. Was he on the Warriors championship team?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it was the following year he left.
Yeah, he left and then he came back. He's like,
Yeah.
"Nah, I think it's good."
He
here.
wanted to
I
get
wanna stay."
paid. He wanted to get
100%.
paid. I can't blame him.
Yeah. But yeah, so Jonathan Kaminga, it says questionable, but we all know, like you're saying, he's gonna play. He's gonna play. So what do you think? I want to say, what do you think the score? What do you think the score is gonna be?
Well, let's see. The Lakers finally had an extra day of rest. We've been playing like 11 games in 15 nights, which is very taxing. I don't care if you're a professional athlete or not, you're going to feel that, right? We finally got an extra day of rest, an extra day of practice, which is very important. That's something that this team has made very clear that they've been lacking a lot of. I feel like, with that being said, I don't predict a high volume game. Like I feel like this is going to be on the defensive end. I feel like it's going to be, and this is just again, I'm gonna be a homer if I need to. I got Lakers 117, Warriors 109. I think
Okay.
solid score. I think we win by like 8.
8 points. All right.
Yeah.
I would say that the Lakers. I was gonna say. I don't know why, but I feel like with the rest for me, I think that it's gonna come out maybe just a little bit, out of rhythm for me. I would say it ends up being 128 to 125. I think we win by
I
3.
think it's a high score game.
I think so. I mean, Steph Curry's coming off of a heater with what was it, 52 points, and
Yeah.
and so the Warriors, I think they're gonna be coming in hot, and they're definitely gonna play up. I think that the Lakers with LeBron and Luka, they haven't been scoring too much, but you know how LeBron, I think LeBron scored. I think he got like a triple double back in 2022 against the Warriors. I think he scored like 56 points. It was wild. We all know LeBron gets up for the Warriors. It's always a good game. Other than that, though, I would say let's move into playoff seeding. So, who do you want to play as the first round matchup?
Oh, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Did I freeze? Can you see me?
I think you turned either off your camera or reversed it.
Uh-oh.
I think you pushed the reverse button up there.
Hold on.
Vince has gone dark, guys. He's gone dark.
You can see me now? There we go.
No, I don't. I don't see you, but
you don't see me right now?
Mm-mm.
Oh man. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, you know what I found out though is I think there are actually some YouTube live streaming like third party stuff where you could do a lot more and it isn't this I think buggy. So I think in the future we'll definitely go with I'm gonna look into some third party YouTube live streaming stuff because
Can you see me now?
no. I hear you though, that's the weird part. Do you see the like reverse button where it's like switch cameras?
Yeah, no, I'm hitting it. Let me see here. Let me hit close.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Vince is
Figured
back.
it out.
This is back, baby. All
Figured
right.
it out, baby.
This is the whole fun of it, you know. This is gonna be fun. I mean, whoever decides to stick through this, appreciate you guys. It's a work in progress, but I
Definitely a
guarantee
work
you
in
the content
progress.
is gonna be great. It's only gonna improve from here.
Oh yeah.
So the playoff seeding, like I said, who do you think? Who do you think? Okay, let me put it this way: who do you think we have the best chance against as playing in the first round of the playoffs? And who do you think would be our worst nightmare in the first round?
You mean like what's like our dream scenario in terms
Dream
of match?
scenario. Yeah,
Oh,
dream
perfect.
scenario and worst case scenario.
Perfect. All right. So first and foremost, we should probably take a look at the standings. I don't know if you're able to pull it up. If not, we'll do that eventually. But
I mean,
if
I
we
have
look
the
at the
standings up right now, but I'm not able to pull them up on the screen just yet. I'll be able to figure all that stuff out later. And
yeah,
um,
no, you're good. So I think it's obvious if you're a real NBA fan, you don't have to be a Lakers fan, and you've noticed how this season has gone. You already know OKC is in a class of its own in the regular season. They've
yeah,
already locked in the number one seed by a mile. We'll talk a little bit about the matchup eventually with OKC against the Lakers and how I believe the theory is they're going for 70 wins, even though realistically they should be resting people, but is what it is. But if we're looking at a dream scenario for the Lakers, I love the idea of the Lakers playing the Clippers in the first round. The reason why is for one, you're literally just playing all your games in LA. That gives you time for extra rest while you're playing a Clippers team that you've already proven multiple times you
hmm,
can beat this team.
hmm,
You have Luka Doncic,
hmm.
who literally, by himself in his young career, in his early 20s, has literally beat the Clippers merciless, like literally. So we have Luka and the Lakers. I feel like the first round best matchup for us is actually the Clippers. The second round matchup, if everything falls in our place, would be the Lakers against Houston. I feel like that game against Houston really showed the rest of us what the Lakers really look like now with Luka, because we didn't play against the Rockets when I think we lost them the last time, or maybe we won, I can't remember. But we didn't have Luka on the team. Now that we've actually seen a game where they've game planned a little bit more, and in a 7 game series, you trying to tell me Braun, Luka, JJ, even Austin, all players who have been proven in terms of playoff matchups and IQ, we could take that against a young team. So, first round, the best one, like I said, would be the Clippers. Second round would be the Houston Rockets. And the third round, if we get lucky, the Denver Nuggets. Because if the Denver Nuggets somehow, some way manage to come out and they stay in the 4 seed and they come out and they play against the Thunder in the second round and then they win, and then we have a Nuggets versus Lakers Western Conference Finals, I'm taking the Lakers. Because this year, we don't fear at all the Denver Nuggets.
So who
And I
beats the
think they know,
Thunder? So
huh?
who beats the Thunder?
It would have to be the Nuggets because
Yeah.
the Thunder are in the 1 seed, and then the Nuggets are in the 4 seed right now. So I'm saying in a perfect scenario, the Nuggets stay in the 4 or 5 seed. They duke
Oh,
it out against Golden State. I think
yeah.
Golden State's going to stay in the 5 seed personally. So if Golden State plays Denver in that first round matchup, that's going to be a slugfest, like straight up. Then the second round is going to be Denver against OKC. That is MVP versus MVP of this year.
Oh
Well,
man, that and
that's gonna be that's gonna
and
be
it's
cinematic.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy now because they have that MVP awards after the playoffs now instead of before. So I wonder how much that affects. It was always weird that they had the MVP like awards before the playoffs. I'm like, you're gonna judge everyone off a regular season? That don't make no
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
The playoffs is where superstars are born.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say the same thing. I would agree. I That's what I want. I prefer the Grizzlies in the first round just because I think that oh my, yeah, holy cow. I did not look at the standings until just now. The Grizzlies are in eighth just now.
Yeah. And
Holy
that's the
cow.
thing. From 2 to 8 right now, you lose a couple games, you're going from the 2 seed to like the 6 seed. That's why right now these last 7 or 8 games, if I'm not mistaken, are very crucial.
We
You
played the
lose a couple games, you're literally going from 2 to 6.
we played the Timberwolves if this season ended right now, which um
I don't like that matchup personally.
I don't know about that. Even though we've actually had the tiebreaker over them this season, I still think in the playoffs, you know, I mean, yeah, that's tough. I mean, they did beat the Nuggets last year, and we couldn't even beat the Nuggets last year. But it's not that LeBron couldn't beat the Wolves or the Nuggets. It's that the team supporting cast. I mean, shoot, people are talking about all this like, oh, DFS is, that signing's underrated, which it is, yeah, because the Luka Whole Doncic trade that kind of like swept the whole DFS trade under the rug. But people aren't talking enough about Vando. Like, yeah, he didn't play that good of a game last game, but like overall, Vando hasn't played for us in over a year, and so it's almost like we got a new player in him as well. And people
Yeah.
people aren't putting that in recognition that yeah, Vando think about this, man. Vando has no offense, really, realistically, but yet he's on an NBA team on the Lakers, and we're willing to keep him. We ain't give us no offense. It just goes to show you how much defense he has that doesn't show up in the box score. I It's those trolls, man, that always in the comments being like, "Oh, this person didn't do that well." I'm like, dude, you just tell me you didn't watch the game without telling me you didn't watch the game. Like, you're a box score warrior, bro. Like, oh man. All right. So
Hold on, real quick.
yeah,
I 100% agree with you on that. But just imagine if Vando did fine tune his offensive arsenal. If he could just be a solid, reliable corner three shooter, or at least just be relevant with the ball. You know how many times he's had the ball and he just looks like a lost puppy. Like
yeah,
he's too smart and too good to be not making himself an option on the offense.
yeah,
Do something like what Jackson Hayes has been doing lately. Jackson Hayes, you know how he gets the ball and normally, especially if he's out in the perimeter, instead of
yeah,
obviously looking to shoot, the first thing he's trying to do is pass it. Well, what he's been changing lately is instead of just not being an actual offensive option when he's in the perimeter, he's
yeah,
literally faking the pass and then going around the defender and then making contact, making plays. If Vandal could just do
yeah,
something as simple as that, I mean, we can use him more because if you're looking at the actual time on the court that he's been
yeah,
spending lately, he's barely on the court, and he's too good defensively to not be playing in the actual games a lot more often than he has been. But because he's such an offensive reliability, he hasn't been getting the minutes. At least that's my theory. Because I can't think of any other reason to not have a defensive minded player like Vando, but also a hustler like Vando. He's one of our dogs on the team, right?
yeah,
We need our dogs on the court, but you also
yeah,
have to keep yourself available on the court as well.
yeah. Well, and the thing is could you imagine? It just goes to show you like how crazy it is that we're actually playing really well. When that if Vando had offense, man, it'd be a crazy story. But with Jackson Hayes too, could you imagine if we can keep Jackson Hayes, that's fine, but like in the off season, if we got like a big who could also shoot the three, those things where you see they pass to Jackson Hayes in the perimeter, and then all it is just a dribble handoff right back to either LeBron, Austin, or Reeves because it's like he can't shoot the three, so he just stands there and he almost looks like he just stands there and like looks around and then like passes it right back to him. Like it's just waste of shot clock. But I I'm not dogging on Jackson Hayes. He's done more than I could have asked for, since the Luka Doncic trade. But the thing is before we move on, really quickly, Warriors. Who would Warriors in the playoffs? What do you think? Like, who would the Warriors rather face in the playoffs?
So I think in terms of the Warriors, they're sitting in the 5 seed right now. Um, they're only one game back from the 4 seed against the Nuggets. They're only 2.5 games, I believe, behind the Lakers in the 3 seed. When you look at the strength of schedule that I'm sure we all hear about on like ESPN and stuff like that.
Yeah,
If you really take away the OKC games from the Lakers, the strength is not really that bad. I mean, we got New Orleans tomorrow. We got another round against the Rockets. Obviously, we got the Warriors today. We got Dallas as well, homecoming for Luca. But in terms of the Sun, I mean, beg my pardon, the Warriors. When I'm looking at the schedule, I'm seeing they play the Nuggets right after us tomorrow in a back-to-back. It is a home game, but it is still a back-to-back. Then you got the Rockets, you got the Suns, the Spurs, the Blazers, and the Clippers. So they got really about relatively, what is it, 5 games, 6 games after the Lakers game. I easily could see them losing maybe at the most 3 games out of those 6. I would be surprised if they lost 4 out of those 6 because they're just too talented, to be honest with you. But
yeah,
but if we're taking this realistically and say they lost 3 more games, that would have them in the loss column at 34 losses. I mean, without looking at the other teams below them schedule, I would honestly say, at least in terms of a dream scenario for the Warriors, I would love if I was a Warriors fan, I would love in the first round to go against the Denver Nuggets. I think it's obvious that Denver is not the same team this year defensively. Yes, they have the greatest center and the best player in the league right now in
well,
Jokic.
yeah,
They
and when
also have Aaron Gordon
yeah,
and have Jamal Murray if he shows up in the playoffs.
well,
Like
that's the thing yeah, they have Jamal Murray, but when he plays the Lakers, they have Michael Jordan because that's who Jamal Murray turns into.
against the Lakers,
That's
he's
what I'm
like that.
saying. He turns into Michael Jordan when he
We're
plays the
talking about the
Lakers.
Warriors, though. Against the Warriors, he's not. He's not so much. So I think, I mean, plus Jamal's been out because of injury. Now, if he's really injured, we don't know. It could just be rest. But I'm just saying, if I'm a Warriors fan, I've already shown and seen that I've beaten the Nuggets, at least at home, right? The Nuggets this year at home, like on their home court in Denver, not really anything to really look up to be honest with you, this season. I mean, in terms of their home record, they're 25-14. It's not terrible, but the Warriors are 23-14 at home too. Now, if say they flip flop in terms of the standings, say Warriors go 4 and then Denver goes 5, and Warriors have home court advantage, I could see the Warriors taking the Nuggets easily. I
Yeah,
wouldn't say easily in terms of like 4 or 5 games, but I could see it
yeah,
go 6 games. Warriors win on that one, and then after that, the second round would be against OKC. Now, something that we'll probably talk about in another video at some point. OKC is an amazing regular season team, right? Obviously, they have this year's more than likely MVP,
yeah,
but huh?
yeah. You remember the Utah Jazz when they were number one with Donovan Mitchell and Jordan Clarkson and Rudy Gobert? Remember when everyone
Yeah,
was like, "No." The thing is it's unfortunate that it was the name Jazz there because if it was the Lakers, people would have taken more seriously.
of
But
course.
but the thing is it's just sad because you're right. Regular season, it's hard to dictate. These young teams, it's all about clout. It feels like they want to win number one, show them they're the best. But like, it's not about the short term. It's about the long term here. What are you thinking about? Because you know how many games you're playing in the playoffs. 16 if you want to win a championship, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's another 16 games. So, but yeah, go ahead. I mean, it's a long, really regular season.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, that's why a lot of the players, when they do interviews, they talk about like what's the most important thing for this team to go deep in the playoffs. They always say what?
Health.
Right? So because health is the most important thing, I'm just saying if the Warriors are healthy and they get that momentum going into the playoffs, if they play against Denver in the first round, they're gonna be good. Going up against OKC in the second round, I know that there's a lot of people who have been, disrespecting OKC in terms of the season they've had, but I think the reason why they are quote unquote disrespecting them as much is because they haven't really proven anything in the postseason. When you look at postseason play versus regular season play, is completely different animal. Regular season, if you look at the standings on both the East and the West, the top teams, like the top two teams, are all young teams. Why? Well, because they got youth. If you have a star player or two plus a young supporting cast like the Cleveland Cavaliers have, like the Boston Celtics have, like the Houston Rockets have, like the OKC Thunder have, you should have a great regular season.
Oh, I
Compared
just saw Kaminga
to
available for the game tonight. Sorry to
say
interrupt
what?
you. It just came up on my phone and it said Kaminga available. Go figure, right?
We already knew this was
Like we
gonna
knew
happen,
that.
right? We already
But
knew
yeah.
it.
But yeah, no, you're right. The having a star and then like younger players like the Cavs. I mean, it's um it's not a coincidence that the teams who are above in the standings are just younger teams. I mean, think about it. Where I'm not even going to talk about the KD and Suns. It just hasn't worked out this year, but that's a different day, different story. But Luca, I mean, Steph, LeBron, let's say Jokic, what seeds are they in? They're not in the top ones because they're not caring about the regular season. If LeBron wanted to, he could. He could be higher in the standings if he wanted to, but he's trying to get prepared for the playoffs. And I mean, LeBron's not as hurt as people think he is. Yeah, he's still coming back from an injury and trying to, revamp and, get up there. But like we know LeBron, if he really wanted to, he could still get those dunks and all those slams that we want. But what's the point, you know, for what? A regular season game? So that brings me to here. I'll let you finish off, and then we just want to talk about remaining schedule, which we talked about, but where we predict each team will end, and we'll just stick with the top 8 for each conference. Make it really quick.
Yeah. So are we still kind of doing the Warrior scenario right now in terms of their best path to success, or?
Um, yeah, you can finish that off. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, first round Nuggets. If I'm a Warriors fan, I'm cool with that. So that would then lead me to the second round against OKC. I know that a lot of people say you need to fear OKC because they have the best record in the regular season, but like we said, sometimes regular season records don't always mean everything. We might be proven wrong this year. Let's wait and see. But I feel like I'm going to take a 4-time MVP, a 2-time and 1-time unanimous MVP in Steph Curry, Draymond Green, who is a defensive monster. I mean, as a Laker fan, I don't really like him that much, at least on the court, because it just seems like there's always the theatrics that he's always doing. But outside of that, as a player, you can't deny he's great defensively.
Yeah.
Then you also have the supporting cast as well. The supporting cast for the Warriors is not super experienced now because of
Yeah.
all the players,
They're not
but
exciting. They're not as exciting names, but
right.
they're clearly doing the job.
Oh
But then
yeah.
again, I mean, in my opinion, I think this is maybe controversial, but I think the Warriors' big three complements each other more than the Lakers' big three. But I think the Lakers' big three is more talented than the Warriors' big three in the current moment.
Who would be the Warriors' big three to you?
Jimmy Butler, Draymond, and Steph.
Okay. So here's one thing that we know, because I ain't gonna lie, I almost forgot Jimmy Butler. I almost did. Because
You're like, wait a second.
I'm so used to
Three.
the Clay and Steph Warriors that Jimmy Butler being on the Warriors is still like I'm processing that almost like I'm still processing Luca being on the Lakers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. I don't I don't really know if I would say they complement each other better. I will say that Jimmy Butler was a good pickup, clearly, right? I mean, it shows in the record. I think they're like 19-2 in the last 21 games. However, for being honest,
Their schedule wasn't that hard.
competition does make a difference, and they have had an easier schedule in those 21 games to get that record. It
Yeah.
hasn't been a cakewalk, obviously, but respectfully, they haven't really had a test. Today against the Lakers is the Warriors' real final test before they really go into the playoffs. And then obviously they do have a couple other games, like against the Clippers and against the Nuggets tomorrow as well. We're going to really pay attention to the Warriors then and see really are they legit good with Jimmy Butler, or was this just kind of like they just caught fire at a good moment because the schedule really made it, work that way. So I don't know. Like I said, if I'm a Warriors fan, I'd love to get Denver in the first round. If the second round, assuming obviously you're the 4 or 5 seed, you have no choice. You're gonna be seeing the Thunder. I would be surprised. Everybody would be surprised if the Thunder didn't come out of the first round. So you're gonna see the Thunder, right? I'm not. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't take the Thunder in that series, but I am gonna say that anything is possible in a 7 game series. And because they're such a young team against an experienced team like the Warriors, at least the most important pieces, you got playoff Jimmy, you got Steph Curry, you got Draymond, who's a beast, and the game slows down a lot more. A lot of these younger teams, they are a high offensive team because in the regular season they get up and down. It's not the same in the playoffs. So I could take the Warriors in a 7 game series. It might even go to 7 games. And I could see the Warriors coming out on the road because their road record is not terrible this year either. I mean, they're 21-17. That's decent, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, they go to the Western Conference Finals. And again, this is just from the perspective of a Warriors fan. You're hoping the Lakers don't make it to the Western Conference Finals. So in that case, you're hoping Houston does. Now you got a Warriors versus Houston matchup in the Western Conference Finals. You're going to tell me that you don't take the Warriors in that matchup?
Yeah. Now,
At that point, now you're in the
yeah.
finals.
Now tell me what you mean because I've always heard that in the playoffs the game slows down.
Yeah.
Now explain that to me because wouldn't that and explain that to the audience because mainly for them but also for me a little bit. If the
Yeah.
game slows down, wouldn't that be wouldn't that be more beneficial for players who don't know the game as well? Because if it slows down, wouldn't it be easier to understand? Why does it everyone make it always seem like when the game slows down, it's a worse thing for inexperienced players and better for the experienced players?
No, it's actually a really good question. So, from my knowledge and my experience over the years watching the game, what it looks like is, for example, right? You know LeBron. He's 40 years old. A lot of the older players, especially in the regular season, there might be a play here and there or a sequence here or there where he missed a layup and he's not getting back on defense. And the next thing you know, you're giving up fast break points, and then a lead from 2 points could easily go up to like 10 points just because you're just letting things go. In the playoffs, the game slowed down in a way where people's attention to details and focus is a lot more clear. The playoffs is I would say, a better platform for players who are not just athletic and skillful, but are also really good, high IQ players. So somebody like LeBron and Luca would be perfect in the playoffs together, just as they've been just kind of working each other out during the regular season. In the playoffs, what I mean when I say it's slower is, for example, you have more plays that are being ran versus just motion offense all the time, right? So you have a lot of adjustments that happen from a game to game basis. What happens in one game, likelihood is not going to happen in the second game, and then what happens in the second game is not going to happen in the third game. So it's like a chess game. Literally every game, there's going to be different challenges that each team is going to be looking to try to solve, and then there's going to be counters to those counters. So when we say the game slows down, it becomes more of a mental game than just a physical game. And a lot of times, some of the best teams mentally will come out on top versus those teams physically. And that's why, as long as you're healthy in the end of it, if you have smart, intelligent players that really know where each player needs to be, and that's why it's very important to get that time together to be able to know where each player and each teammate likes the ball in certain spots on the court. Because once you have that chemistry, not just off the court but on the court, the fluidity of the game is a lot easier because now it's less thinking about, oh, this person needs to be here, or I need to be here. Now it's just, okay, I'm gonna take a drive, I'm gonna kick it out, and I already know he's over here ready to shoot, right? So that's what I mean when I say the game slows down. It's a lot more plays being ran. And to me, it's more catering to more experienced teams.
Yeah, that's fair. So back to the question, where we predict each team will end in seeding as well as record. Just off the top of your head, without thinking about it, Western Conference, um, first seed, who ends up there?
Let me guess. I'm gonna say the Thunder. Want to bet
Ah,
on
good
it?
guess. Good
You want to bet
guess.
on it?
Oh, dude, you're 100% right now.
Hey,
Oh man. All
I
right,
like those odds.
two seed.
All right, 2 seed. I'm gonna maybe surprise you.
Oh.
The 2 seed, I think the Lakers could get the 2.
Oh!
I think the Lakers get the 2 seed. And here's why. But certain things have to happen with that. I'll go into in a second. But I think the Lakers have a chance to really get that 2 seed.
Here,
And then
here.
the
Let's
3
go with.
seed. Yeah.
Let's finish through 8 and then explain after.
Yeah, I got you.
So
So the 1
3.
seed Thunder, 2 seed Lakers, 3 seed I actually have Denver. 4 seed I have the Rockets. 5 seed I have the Warriors. 6 seed I have the Timberwolves. 7 seed I have the Clippers. And then the 8 seed, because we're talking
Yeah.
play in
Yeah.
scenarios case. I might surprise you again. I think the 8 seed is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. I'm just saying, man. I
Oh,
would not be
all
surprised
right. Yeah,
if
I
the
see
Dallas
him.
Mavericks come up top.
Dang. Okay, so what you have is you have the Grizzlies falling out. Wait.
So the Grizzlies are the 8 seed right now.
Yeah.
I have the Grizzlies going to this. Hold on.
To
To
the
the
ninth seed. You
no
have
no
them
no
going
no
to the,
no no. So let's see. So I have again the Thunder. Here, I'm gonna write this down if I
yeah,
need to.
you said Thunder, Lakers, Nuggets, Rockets, Warriors, Timberwolves. Oh
Clippers,
no, Clippers,
and then yes. So you're right.
Mavericks.
Mavericks. So you're right.
So you're saying that the Grizzlies would be ninth,
Correct.
which is not possible. But in a dream scenario, it's not possible for the Grizzlies to fall to ninth. They're
It
7.
is. No, it is because in the play-in, remember, any seed from 7 to 10 is in the play.
Oh,
Anything
I
goes in
see
the
what you're
play-in.
saying.
That's
I
what
see
I'm
what.
saying. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
Like think of it this way: matchups are everything, right? Say the season were to end right now. The Clippers against Memphis. Who you got going for the
Well,
7th seed?
I guess what I was saying was is how will the regular season end in seeding?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is we're taking in the play-in game as well.
Gotcha.
I'm taking the Clippers over the Grizzlies in the 7-8 matchup for the play-in.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
then that's going to take the Grizzlies to
Gotcha.
the 8 seed potential. That would
Right.
be Grizzlies, and I have the Grizzlies against the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm telling you right now, I might take the Mavericks for that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no,
I'm just
100%.
saying.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction personally. I would love
Yeah.
that scenario because to me nobody's going to be able to compete with the Thunder anyways, but I for one I do feel for the Dallas Maverick fans. At least if you can get into the play-in, it'll be something of at least an accomplished year at this point. But
Yeah.
I also feel for my guy AD because he literally just went from a playoff team or at least a team that aspired to be in the playoffs, which obviously we are now, just about to being on a team that has been constantly injured after injured after injured. And
Yeah.
now he's come back. And as you've seen AD coming back into his form, I mean, to me, like you got AD back, you got Gafford back, you got Lively back, you got Spencer, you got
Yeah.
Christie, you got PJ Washington. I
Mhm.
mean, really, there's not a whole lot of weaknesses outside of like the point guard. And I'll take that against the Memphis Grizzlies because they got size. They can
Yeah.
stop Ja. Ja's not really a shooter. He's
What
more
yeah.
of a paint pressure. He
What
ain't gonna
if
do that.
what I mean if we end up being the 2 seed, then we wouldn't meet the Thunder in the second round. But what if the Mavs ended up beating the Thunder in the first round? Cuz believe it or not, AD on the
Hold on,
Lakers.
hold on,
It,
hold on, bro. You did not just say the Mavs are gonna beat the Thunder
no, I didn't say
on
they
the
would.
first round, bro.
I'm just saying could you imagine? I'm just
I
saying that
can't imagine.
AD
I can't.
Thunder can't deal with size. Thunder
Yes,
can't deal
they
with
can.
size.
They have
No,
Hardenstein and they have Chet
we we
Holmgren.
we actually, you know what? Last year, I would have said we would have beat the Thunder
Oh,
because
I agree with you
the,
last year because we had AD.
right, but they have AD and Gafford and an AD on a different level. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying it might be interesting if
Who's gonna stop Gilgis Alexander?
AD.
Who's gonna stop Williams? Who's gonna
What?
stop Isaiah
Wait,
or not
hold
Isaiah?
on.
Huh?
What have those players proved? What have they
I mean,
proved?
they did play in the playoffs last year. Yes, they lost in what the second round, to
Yeah.
the second round to Luka and the Mavs.
Yeah.
But you got to think about this, right? Once upon a time, like, and I'm not trying to compare this team to the previous teams, but
Yeah.
once upon a time, the Thunder had Russ and Harden and Durant, and
Mhm.
they lost in the second round, if I'm not mistaken, to the Mavs or to the Lakers. And then the following season, they made it to the Western Conference Final.
Yeah.
I personally feel like this is a year that's set up for the Thunder to make it to the Western Conference Final.
Yeah.
Personally, I know there's a lot of people that see them coming out and making it to the finals, but a lot of things have to work, man, because I'm telling you, like, if you look at the history of the league, there's not always a lot of times the number 1 seed makes it to the finals.
Yeah.
Last year is a proof of it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah.
and I you
And
know,
in the playoffs, the first and second round, getting past the first round as a top seed isn't hard. Isn't harder, I should say, than people would think it would be. Because obviously, you obviously did well in the regular season. You'd imagine you'd probably make it past the first round. But in the second round, it gets a little harder. Obviously, it gets harder throughout the whole thing. But I think the conference finals in either conference, I think the role players and a lot of people really drop off because one, they're more tired, and the skill level is a huge increase. And I just think it'd be crazy because if we're the second seed, the Lakers, and we're like I said, the second seed, we wouldn't play the Thunder till the Western Conference Finals, which I think is the huge benefit of being the second seed, right?
yeah,
I think,
second
I,
or third seed.
yeah, but with the way you just said it, having us end if we ended up being a second
Yeah.
seed.
We're
Um,
talking dream scenario.
yeah,
If
yeah,
we're
no,
being
100%.
realistically speaking,
Realistically, I think the Thunder are gonna wipe the Mavs if it happens. But I'm just saying it could be interesting. You mark my words, bro. If the Mavs win game one, if that ends up happening, just saying, watch out. But
yeah, you make a good
um,
point.
but yeah, it's tough. Obviously, I don't think that the Mavs will win against the Thunder, but I think it'd be very interesting seeing how it might look. But I mean, hey, I saw the freaking Utah Jazz be number one seed, and everyone was like Jazz fans, and everyone was like, "Yeah, this is the team. This is it." I mean, they had Donovan Mitchell, which is another point to bring up. Um, you had the 4 and 5 seed as the Rockets and the Warriors,
Mhm.
so that's an interesting one too. I think that'd be fun. I guess you have the Nuggets as the 3, and then I think it was the Timberwolves as 6. So that
Yeah.
matchup would be interesting. The Timberwolves swept the Nuggets this year. I mean, I think it's safe to
Dream
say that
scenario, man.
the
Listen,
Nuggets go home in the first round if that's the case. There
absolutely.
ain't no
Hey,
way. There ain't
dream
no way.
scenario.
I
Dream
mean,
scenario,
as
right?
as much as we had that Laker faith, right? We were like, you know what? We actually have a chance. We got LeBron, but we got swept in the regular season. It's just you got to be realistic with it, but it was definitely a curse. I mean, shoot, before this season, we couldn't. AD had never beaten the Kings with Domantas Sabonis, and then this season, we all of a sudden we're wiping the floor
Swept
with
them.
them. Yeah, but
Swept them.
making it quick here. Running out of time because I like to make it to the game at least 5-10 minutes before because
Oh
I
yeah.
like to get prep myself some
Oh
popcorn.
yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
1 through 8 in the Eastern Conference. We got Cavs, Celtics, Knicks, Pacers, Pistons, Bucks, Magic, and Hawks. And also, just wanted to say, um, Tyrese Maxey, apparently something happened to him. I don't think actually something really bad happened to him. I just think that there was something, there was an injury that was lingering and that needed to get fixed. And so they're like, you know what, just sit out the rest of the season. What's the point? But so the Bucks and 76ers played tonight, and the Bucks, um, I imagine they won. I just saw the notification that Giannis had like 35 points, 17 rebounds, and like 16 assists, something like that. Let me see here.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, we're seeing a lot of this week alone. We have had a historic week in terms of these players' performances. I mean, literally Giannis had 35 points, 17 rebounds, and 20 assists.
That's wild.
That is
That is
crazy.
wild.
Like, any in through and two steals just because why not, right? Like
Yeah.
only 2 turnovers. You mean
Yeah.
to tell me a man who's almost 7 feet tall, apparently doesn't have a lot of skill outside of just going into the paint, gave you 35 points, 20 rebounds, or beg my pardon, 15 or 17 rebounds, 20 assists. The assist is the part that I'm just like, who was he passing it to? Damon
Right.
out there.
Right.
So I mean, who was
Right.
he passing it to? Like, you got to
Right.
give credit to his teammates for making the shots. I
For
mean,
real.
and you look at the box score; they had a very well balanced game for the rest of their cast. Like Terrence Prince or Torian Prince,
Yeah.
13 points. Kuzma, 16 points. Lopez, 17 points.
Oh. Oh.
Rollins, 10
Yeah.
points.
And guess who was coaching tonight? Darvin Pocket Hams.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. Doc Rivers, he was out for today. He was sick.
Oh
But
my!
yeah.
And Darvin, we trust, right?
Yeah. Right. For real. Uh, I mean, Dame with the blood clots, that's kind of scary. And I mean, they're playing it off like it's not a big deal, like it's blood thinning medication, as if what? Chris Bosh didn't take blood thinning medication. He's saying he's gonna be back before the end of the season. I've heard that from Chris Bosh. The positivity, I get what they're trying to do, but I a little concerned there. Eh? Are you buying?
This is a very weird year for injuries.
Yeah,
Especially with this blood clot thing, because when we heard about it from, if you actually remember, Asar Thompson, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah. Did he
right?
have it
He
too?
had that.
He
He
came
had
back
that. He
though.
was out for like 6 months, seven, eight, six, or
Oh
6.
yeah,
And
it ain't
then
no
you have
joke.
Wemby randomly with the blood clot in his shoulder, like, and then now Dame. I'm just almost wondering, like, where is this random blood clot injury coming from? And then, like, scientifically speaking, because we don't know anything, why is it that one player is out for the season, but another player might be fine? I'm pretty sure Dame's blood clot is like in his calf or something, I
Yeah,
think.
but yeah, severity
So,
though? Is it severity? Because there must like, right,
I
there
mean, they're
must be
saying he's
severity.
responding well. They're saying he's responding well to the medication, and he might be in the right direction in terms of being able to have like contact to contact play. But if Dame obviously is in the picture, going into the postseason, I mean that completely changes the dynamic of the Bucks. I mean, I don't want to say too much because unfortunately they haven't proven anything in the postseason yet.
Yeah,
But at the same time, let's just give Dame respect. He's a
yeah,
totally different player. He's gonna take pressure away from Giannis.
yeah,
I could see them being a second round exit at the best this season because I just feel
yeah,
like they're too many pieces
yeah,
away from a real actual championship team
right.
this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I feel for the Bucks fans. We have our own injuries on our own team, and it could happen any day to any team. And so I hope that in the playoffs, at least in the Eastern Conference this year, that the Celtics don't get a runaway with all these teams that were injured. I'm not saying that they wouldn't have won anyways, but it'd been nice to have some games that were they I don't know. You just feel like maybe would have been nice to see some more competition. I'm not saying they weren't, but it is what it
The
is.
path of prosperity was very easy for the Celtics last year. Let's hope
Yeah.
it's the
I'm
same
not
this year.
saying they wouldn't have won, but you never know. But like I said, every year injuries happen. It is what it is. But do you
Hold on,
think?
real quick. Since I answered your question about the top 8 seeds in the West, what's your top 8 seeds in the East?
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Um, in the East, I would say the Cavs number one. Even though technically it's still possible for the Celtics to go, but the Cavs would have to like lose every other game, which I don't think they will. But Cavs first, Celtics second, um, Knicks third. That is crazy because it really is the Wild Wild West. The East, I just don't feel like there's gonna be a lot of shifting, and I don't feel like there's like I need to look at the stats. How often has it changed? It felt like the Eastern Conference has been like that all year. I know
Yeah,
it's a little bit.
I'm pretty sure what had happened recently is Detroit lost their last game, so it moved them from the 5 seed to the 6 seed. So they flip flop with Milwaukee. Milwaukee was basically in the first round
Yeah,
destined to play against the Knicks, right? That's a kind of a tough first round in that case. But because Detroit just lost 2 games in a row, and then the Milwaukee Bucks just won 2 games in a row, they have ties.
Uh,
They have the tiebreaker. It looks like, and so
gotcha.
that tiebreaker puts Milwaukee in the 5 seed right now, and then
Hmm.
Detroit's in the 6. So Detroit, was initially already designated to be playing the Knicks. Now they're basically ready to be playing the Knicks right now if the season ended.
Yeah. Um,
Well, who
Bulls
do
to
you
the
think is going to
final.
be 5 and 6? You think it's still going to be that same way, 5 and 6? You think they're going to flip flop again?
Yeah, I say Cavs, Celtics, Knicks, Pacers. I think Bucks end up taking fifth, Pistons sixth, Magic. I think the Magic end up going to the eighth seed because the Hawks overpass them. But I don't
Really?
trust the Hawks, but I also don't know with the Magic. They'd be good. Actually, I'm gonna change that. The Magic stay in the seventh spot because I trust the Magic more than I do the Hawks. Trey Young is one of those really good players that just doesn't. Either he needs a better team or a new situation, or he's too small. I don't know. He's really good. I just don't get it with Trey Young. He. I'll tell you what. Trey Young in Madison Square Garden will light it up. That's when he turns into Jordan
Hey,
Bell.
the
But
Knicks are happy. The Knicks are happy that the Hawks are not the 6 seed right now. I can
for
tell you that much.
real, for
I
real,
can tell
and
you that much.
yeah, is Jalen Brunson back?
He's not back, but I predict he'll be back. I would say the last like 3 games of the season.
I mean, no lie, dude. The Knicks, even without Jalen Brunson, have still been putting in work, and I I like the Knicks. I like the Knicks. I just unless Jalen Brunson comes back and shows me that he's good, I I just don't see them getting past the second round. Although then Villanova boys, it's true. They'd be working. Um, I don't know. You think Bulls to the finals or what?
I'm dead. Listen, man.
No, man.
The Bulls
Go.
had a great season this year. I still cannot believe the ending to that game against the Bulls. I'm
Yeah.
sure all Laker fans feel this way because it's just like I can remember I feel like that was a game where everybody who was watching the game remembers where they were. Like I was so irritated when LeBron just gave up the 3 and then turned the ball over and then gave up another 3 and now
Yeah.
we were down what, 1? And the next thing you know, Austin Reeves game winner was supposed to be a game winner layup with 6 seconds left, roughly. And you know what I noticed looking at the film? Nobody picked up Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
Nobody.
But why
We had an
why
extra
why a
man
straight
all the
line?
way,
Why a straight line? Lead him off to the side,
bro.
something.
We had an extra man all the way towards their basket. We needed somebody to at least stay on Josh Giddey. Don't give him the ability to just go up the court to half court and just get into a motion and shoot. Anything can happen. Nobody picked him up.
You know what I saw? Yeah, I know it's wild. Somebody in the comments,
Crazy.
somebody in the comments of Lakers Nation said something like, "Shooting from half court and shooting from half your age."
Yo, hey, we about to go there, bro.
What is it, Josh Diddler?
Josh Diddy.
No, man,
Hey,
that I feel like I low-key feel like the Thunder traded Josh Giddey away. Not only because I feel like they got Alex Caruso back, but do you think that the Thunder would have take back Josh Giddey if they would have seen this from him now, or do you still think they take Alex Caruso?
they still take Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso,
But who's the better two-way
he's
player though?
Alex Caruso.
Who's recently been playing?
I'm telling you right now, dude.
I
I'm
like
not,
Alex Caruso better,
I
but
am
I'm just
not even
saying.
being a Lakers homer at this point because we never should have let go of Alex Caruso.
No, I
Alex
know. He was willing
Caruso
to take
right
less money to
now.
stay with us.
Hold on. Alex Caruso right now is a better postseason player than Josh Giddey. If you really looked at how Josh Giddey played last year in the postseason, arguably he was one of the main reasons why they didn't go further because he was too much of a liability. He's still young. He's only 22. He
Yeah.
still needs time to develop. He's got a very promising future. If he, we'll just talk on the court. Very promising future. He just keeps developing. But I'm taking Alex Caruso because you get the leadership, you get the two-way play, the defensive end. He's everybody's favorite teammate, I would say.
Yeah.
Then offensively, he makes the right plays. You don't have to run your offense through Alex to get scores. He's just going to get the open play and make the right play. That's why LeBron James loved playing with Alex Caruso for so long when he was with us, because he's just another one of those high IQ players like a Austin Reeves. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a superstar to be a high IQ player. You could be a role player and still have a high IQ and just be a star in your role. No
Yeah.
pun intended, right? And so literally, I'm taking Alex Caruso over Josh Giddey right now. But if we're
Yeah.
talking future, obviously, yeah, you could go Josh Giddey, but that's why the Bulls did that, because the Bulls are in a totally different timeline than the Thunder. The Thunder are trying to, in some ways, win right now, even though they still have all their draft picks. I personally think that they are stocking all their draft picks to go get a big name player in the near future and then really add that to the team and then really try to solidify themselves. Because if you look at the moves that the GM for the Thunder have made in the past like 5-6 years,
Is
they're
it?
very calculated.
Yeah. Is it Sam?
Very calculated.
What's his name? Sam Cassie or Castle? What is it?
Uh,
Something
ooh,
like Sam Presti.
Kate Presti. Yep, Sam
All right.
Presti.
All right. We gotta go, but really quickly, it's just a one quick answer. Who was impacted more by the trade deadline? Lakers with Luka or Warriors with Butler?
I mean, I'm gonna just keep it a stack.
Short term, long term. I think short term, to be honest, Warriors short term did more for them because we need a big, and we, you know, it clearly the Warriors long term. I think about it. Jimmy Butler. I know I just said short, but long term, I just everywhere Jimmy Butler has gone, it's always been amazing when he got there, but somehow it always ends up blowing up everywhere he goes. So I like Jimmy Butler. I just don't understand. He seems like a cool guy, but what's up with it? I don't know. But long term Lakers for sure. I think that that doesn't mean we can't win this year. I think that we have the better shot. But I just think that um it just the Warriors with Butler, it they're more a complete team than the Lakers right now, just because we're missing that inside presence. If we had Draymond Green, I'd say it's over. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I like him at as he's not my favorite player. I mean, I don't know how many times he needs a stat for how many times he's kicked someone in the nuts.
Hey,
But
you see Dylan Brooks the other night?
yeah, 16 technical. But yeah, what do you think, really quick?
Um, okay. So if we're just talking player for player, right? Because we're not talking the rest of the roster, we're just talking player for player. I think it's obvious long term, Luca. Luca has just turned 26. In my opinion, I don't even think he's had his prime yet. His prime is going to come once he's really focused on the defensive end. Offensively, he's a very gifted player. So long term, Luca. Short term, I can't really say I'm going to go with the Warriors, and I'm not even trying to be like a Laker homer in this case. But the reason why I say that is because to me, like Luca is such an impactful player. He makes so many players around him better. Look at what he's done to Jackson Hayes. He may have just literally saved Jackson Hayes to be a Laker moving forward, because we were not talking about Jackson Hayes being a Laker center after this season. Am I right?
I think I weirdly enough, I think they yeah, you're right. I
I'm
don't
just
know. I think
saying.
that they also might trade him though, because his value might be up now. Getting him
Trade who?
paid. I think the Lakers trade Jackson Hayes if it means
Oh,
getting him.
okay, I thought you said Luca. Like, oh
No,
heck no.
no.
Oh no.
I think it's really smart because Luka makes everyone better, like you said. I think they, if it comes down to it, they might trade Jackson Hayes because his value is up now, and maybe they won't be able to pay him. All depends. I mean, LeBron taking the pay cut in the summer, we'll see. I'm hoping we can get that mid-level exception or mid-star or mid-role player or something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right though. I mean, I do like what you're saying with the Warriors and Butler. Um,
And
but
again, no disrespect to Jimmy, because you made valid points. Everywhere Jimmy's gone, he's impacted usually that first year, 2 years. What he did in Miami is arguably the best thing he's done in his career, because starting with the Bulls didn't really do too much, right? It wasn't his show. Then, we talk about the Timberwolves. He was more of a cancer than he was anything else. Then we talk about the 76ers. He was actually very impactful in the 76ers, but instead of
Yeah.
signing him, they signed Tobias Harris, which arguably was a mistake, right? So then what happens? Now he goes to the Heat. So in the Heat, in the last 5 years, since 2020 to this year, he's taken the Heat to 2 finals. Yes, they lost to the Lakers.
As a
Yes,
7th seed.
as a 7 seed, bro. That is, come on, man. They
Yeah.
need to put more respect on Jimmy Butler's name, and that's
Yeah.
just the fact. But in terms of short term, like I said, I just think that Luka is just. There's a reason why they say Luka's a top 3 player. So long
Yeah.
term, yes, Luka, but right now, Lakers easily.
Do you think Pat Riley took Jimmy Butler's cookies? Do you think that was
I'm
it?
surprised you didn't say take Jimmy Butler's coffee because that man loves his coffee. He loves his coffee.
I mean, it starts with a C. I might have meant to say that. I don't know if you like it.
Hey, cookies and coffee, right? That's a pretty good duel.
That's funny. All right, like and subscribe down below, up top. I don't know where it's at. I'll learn it later. But Lakers Warriors, let's go.
Yes,
Let's
sir. Hey,
go.
thank you for having us, man. You
Yes,
guys
sir.
enjoy the
Let's
game.
go. Take care.
Take care, man.
Bye.